I don't want nobody hurting. Now, if I don't feel safe with you, I ain't gonna let that happen.
I think I broke the pallet.
Yeah. All right, God, let me get out of the way. What am I doing wrong?
And then he kept asking.
Undercover boss moments when bosses were too cocky. Hey everyone, welcome back. Get ready, because today we're breaking down the top 5 priciest blunders on Undercover Boss, those jaw-dropping corporate disasters caught on film that had audiences cringing and chuckling. These are the times when top executives tried getting their hands dirty and ended up causing major damage through wasted goods, lost hours, or flat-out humiliation. From burger joint blunders to warehouse wrecks, this list has it all. Seriously, don't skip number 1, it's a doozy. Before we jump into the list, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more shocking job site moments. Drop a comment with the fail you found the craziest. Alright, let's get started. 5. GSI Commerce, Michael Rubin's Packing Pandemonium. At number 5, we spotlight e-commerce mogul Michael Rubin, the head honcho of GSI Commerce, a company that processes online purchases for major retail giants. You'd assume someone running a logistics powerhouse could handle a packing box like a pro, right? Well, not quite. Rubin went undercover at one of his own fulfillment centers, and let's just say his stint as a warehouse packer was more chaos than competence. The setup: wearing a company-branded outfit, Rubin tried to blend in while matching the fast-paced flow of boxes and products. The mission seemed straightforward: pack customer orders quickly and accurately, but straightforward didn't last long. Trying to show he could match the employee's work rate, Rubin rushed through tasks and only proved he couldn't. He struggled with packing tape, got confused by product codes, and closed boxes incorrectly, causing shipping errors. Worse, in his frantic effort to keep up, he ignored safety practices, think dropping something heavy and dangerous. Rubin quickly realized that rushing can cause harm to others, and his packing game is far below par. As more orders came through, Rubin couldn't keep pace. A sharp-eyed coworker noticed the sloppy packing and had to check everything twice. You can imagine them thinking, "What's with this rookie? We'll need to redo half of his work." Each time Rubin applied tape at the wrong angle or mispacked an item, it created extra effort and downtime. In logistics, that equals money lost. At one point, he sent a box down the line so poorly assembled it split open, spilling products everywhere. Classic shipping disaster. So how costly was Rubin's rookie mistake spree? While it's tough to assign a precise dollar value to lost efficiency, let's break it down. Every box packed wrong means it must be rehandled. In warehouse terms, that's wasted labor and time. Delays in shipments can lead to missed delivery windows, customer complaints, and potentially lost sales. Say Rubin botched just 10 orders that day, with labor, repacking, and even priority reshipping to make up time, the cost could hit a few $100s. And if a customer received the wrong item, tack on returns and refund processing. If each of Rubin's flubbed boxes cost $50 in wasted resources, he might have tallied up a $500 loss by clockout time. Lucky for him, he's the boss. A regular employee might have been shown the door by lunch.
Units you have so far?
I already got rid of 4.
This is really embarrassing.
The warehouse team kept it respectful, bless them, though the side eyes and worried looks said plenty. One teammate kindly pointed out, "We usually pack it like this. Let me walk you through it again," which translates loosely to, "Please stop screwing it up." Another worker joked, "We're not quite Amazon yet, but we try to keep it accurate," lightening the vibe while fixing the CEO's errors. Rubin, clearly overwhelmed, looked humbled. In his private interview, visibly flustered, he confessed something like, "I thought I'd breeze through this, but I'm slowing everyone down. I've gained a real appreciation for how tough this job is." Apparently, steering a billion-dollar business is less tricky than aligning a roll of packing tape. So while number 5 didn't come with a towering dollar amount, the damage from lost productivity and errors made this blunder an expensive one in spirit. And it proved something crucial. Even small missteps can cause big disruptions. Ready to see the missteps get messier? Let's roll into number 4. 4. Taco Bueno Forklift Fumble Frenzy. Sliding into number 4 is a Tex-Mex workplace fiasco with a side of danger. Michael Roper, the CEO of Taco Bueno, a beloved Tex-Mex fast food chain, went undercover and found himself in a warehouse face-off with a powerful adversary, the forklift. That's right, our brave exec took control of a forklift, and let's just say the outcome was far from bueno. Roper's assignment was to work in Taco Bueno's distribution warehouse, where supplies and ingredients are prepped for delivery to various stores. Disguised as an everyday warehouse employee, he had to show he could keep pace. First task, use a forklift to shift pallets full of food and materials. Now, forklifts aren't toys. They demand serious training and precision. As Roper climbed aboard, you could almost hear the dramatic dun 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 cue up. The veteran employee tasked with guiding him, we'll call her Maria, gave a brisk tutorial and a concerned look. She was likely thinking, please don't let this rookie destroy the place. The fail, disaster struck as soon as Michael pressed the pedal. The forklift jerked forward, wobbling like a shopping cart with a busted wheel. He was assigned to pick up a pallet packed with taco shells or condiment packets, but he misaligned the forks and scraped it. The pallet teetered dangerously. Maria yelled, "Go slow! Easy, easy!" Her tone was a mix of urgency and disbelief. You could see her clinging to her hard hat like she was bracing for impact. At one tense moment, Michael nearly toppled a tall pile of inventory. A stunned team member in the background stood frozen, hand on his face, probably thinking, brace yourself, we've got a queso catastrophe incoming. The warehouse veteran eventually had to shut down the forklift trial, not literally, but emotionally. She firmly told him to park the machine and exit before things got worse. Michael stepped out, face redder than a fire-roasted salsa, while the team exhaled in relief that their workplace hadn't turned into a pile of rubble. The aftermath reaction. Maria wasn't laughing, well, not kindly. In a confessional-style interview, she sighed and said, "I've never seen anyone that shaky on a forklift. It was rough." She admitted it was stressful to watch since even one wrong move could cause injuries or break thousands in supplies. In her mind, she might have been thinking, did this man grow up in a cave? Another teammate ribbed Roper, joking, "We might have to pull your forklift license before you even earn one." The humbled CEO simply nodded. He'd clearly been humbled by the beast of the supply chain. Thankfully, no product actually fell, and no jars of queso met their demise during filming. But the close call was nerve-wracking. Had that wobbly pallet fully tipped, bars, shattered packaging, and taco shells and crumbles. Cleanup and replenishment alone could reach thousands of dollars. A good guess, if that pallet was worth about $2,000 in goods, Michael's oops could have led to a serious loss. And if he'd struck a shelving unit? Forklift-related damage can hit 5 digits easily. No wonder the team looked ready to dive for cover. In the end, Michael Roper walked away with a whole new appreciation for the folks keeping the warehouse running. At the big reveal, he offered a heartfelt line like, "I didn't just stall the forklift, I nearly stalled the entire warehouse team. I'm really sorry." The whole experience was both eye-opening and hilarious. Watching a CEO get humbled by a piece of warehouse equipment never gets old. 3. MasTec, the backhoe blunder. Jose Mas's big dig gone wrong. Crashing into number 3 is a literally explosive episode. This workplace fail stars Jose Mas, CEO of MasTec, a major player in the construction and infrastructure world. When Jose went undercover, he joined a team replacing power lines. Sounds simple enough until you factor in massive machines, live electrical cables, and yes, descending into manholes. What could possibly go wrong? Spoiler, quite a bit. Disguised as a regular recruit, Jose reported to a job site, ready to take on tough physical work and operate machinery. His temporary supervisor was Hugh, a seasoned foreman. Hugh didn't know this shaky new guy was actually the CEO, but he knew enough to prioritize safety and get the job done right. From the jump, Hugh kept close tabs on Jose, who was clearly struggling. When Jose had a hard time using a grounding rod, literally hammering it into dirt, Hugh figured maybe the guy'll do better with a machine. So out came the backhoe, a hulking, powerful digger. If this were a thriller, the backhoe would have had a dramatic reveal, complete with eerie background music. Jose climbed inside the cab and viewers collectively held their breath. Hugh gave the basics. Pay attention to the controls, look out for anything in the way, and whatever you do, don't swing that boom wildly. Jose nodded, nervous but determined. This was his shot to redeem himself, or so he hoped.
I don't want nobody hurt. Now, if I feel safe with you. I ain't gonna let that happen.
Within moments, it was clear Jose was out of his depth. As the engine revved up, the backhoe jerked and shook like a wild animal. Jose attempted to move the boom near a target zone, but his control was sloppy. The metal arm swayed too far to one side, and Hugh's face said it all. With critical infrastructure like pipes and power lines buried nearby, one wrong nudge could mean massive trouble. Hugh yelled over the noise, "Whoa, whoa, stop, I don't think you're ready for this yet." That was Hugh's polite way of saying, "Please get out before you break something or someone." Jose exited the cab, visibly rattled. There was even a brief hiss, maybe from compressed air or a hydraulic line, that added to the tension. Thankfully, there was no explosion. Though legend has it, Jose got a true blast later while going into a manhole, maybe a pipe burst or a pressure release. Either way, that teaser wasn't kidding. Regardless, danger was real and Hugh stepped in just in time. He calmly told Jose to step aside for safety's sake. At that point, Jose was less a CEO and more a safety risk with a name tag. Hugh kept it professional but firm. He looked like a teacher taking sharp tools away from a toddler. On camera, he stated plainly that the guy just couldn't operate the backhoe safely. Hugh later explained off camera, "I've been on job sites for 2 decades. I know when someone's about to cause harm. I wasn't letting it happen." His instincts didn't just protect Jose, they protected the whole crew. Other workers peeked out from behind equipment, whispering, "This guy almost clipped the power pole. Who hired him?" Jose, for his part, was embarrassed, but also gained a new outlook. During the reveal, Jose sincerely thanked Hugh for protecting the site, and honestly, him. As a thank you, he rewarded Hugh generously with a $25,000 bonus and a vacation, totally earned for being vigilant and honest. But beyond dollars and cents, safety has no price tag. An untrained operator behind the wheel of a backhoe is a recipe for disaster. That a job had to pause because the CEO was the risk, now that's a costly role reversal. Usually it's the employees afraid of screwing up, not the boss. 2. Chiquita, forklift freakout, Fernando Aguirre goes bananas, landing the number 2 spot on our list of the most costly fails on Undercover Boss, is a moment that had viewers literally going bananas, yes, quite literally, thanks to a catastrophic mishap at Chiquita Brands International. In this episode, we watch as Fernando Aguirre, the CEO of Chiquita, learns the hard way that operating a forklift is far more complicated than it looks. In a warehouse full of fruit, he came alarmingly close to causing a banana disaster of epic proportions. For his undercover stint, Fernando ditched the comfortable confines of the boardroom and geared up in a hard hat, preparing to join the bustling workforce at one of Chiquita's massive distribution hubs. Picture towering stacks of banana boxes and pallets filled with produce, all waiting to be moved efficiently. Fernando's assignment was to shadow a veteran employee, Carlos, whose daily responsibilities involved expertly maneuvering a forklift through tight aisles filled with heavy pallets of fruit. Carlos was a true professional, able to drive the forklift like he'd been doing it for decades.
I think I broke the pallet.
Yeah.
But then, the rookie Fernando stepped in, eager to prove that he could take the wheel as well. In typical Undercover Boss fashion, Fernando didn't just sit back and observe, no, he immediately jumped in, skipping over the watch and learn phase and confidently entering the "I've got this" stage. He watched Carlos for a while, lifting a pallet of bananas, and in a moment of misplaced confidence, thought to himself, this seems easy enough.
Easy. Put it down, it's too high.
As any seasoned Undercover Boss viewer can guess, those are often the famous last words that precede disaster. When the time came for Fernando to take a turn behind the wheel, he adjusted his seat, cracked his knuckles, and likely thought something along the lines of, how hard can this be? It's just like a big golf cart with forks, right? Unfortunately for Fernando, it was much harder than it looked. At first, things seemed to be going all right. Fernando eased the forklift forward, moving slowly to get a feel for the controls. But the real trouble started when he attempted to hoist a pallet full of bananas. For some reason, the load wasn't centered properly, and suddenly, hundreds of pounds of bananas started to sway dangerously. Carlos, who had been watching with concern, saw the writing on the wall. It was clear that things were about to go south in a hurry. As Fernando struggled to regain control, the forklift lurched forward and in his panic, he hit the gas instead of the brake. Cue the dramatic music. The machine jerked violently, and for a heart-stopping moment, it looked like it was going to tip over. One corner of the pallet clipped a nearby shelf, knocking over several boxes. Bananas, once neatly packed, went flying across the warehouse floor in what can only be described as a fruit apocalypse. The warehouse workers who had been going about their business jumped back in shock as they saw the cargo flying through the air. Carlos, clearly alarmed, shouted, "Alto! Stop! Stop!" in a voice that could be heard echoing through the entire warehouse. Fernando, wide-eyed and frozen in place, managed to stop the forklift just in time, mere inches away from crashing into more stacked crates. The scene that unfolded looked like something out of a slapstick comedy. Bananas were everywhere, a forklift was at a wild angle, and Fernando's stunned expression made it clear that his cover was almost blown. If you've ever watched a viral forklift fail video where one simple mistake causes a chain reaction of disasters, you can imagine how close this came to being one of those moments. Despite narrowly avoiding complete catastrophe, the damage had already been done. Fernando stood still in shock, gripping the forklift wheel, while a cascade of bananas rolled across the floor, creating a mess of epic proportions. This was a close call in every sense of the word, but the result was still a disaster that couldn't be ignored. Carlos rushed over to hit the emergency stop button on the forklift, his face a mixture of frustration and disbelief. In the blink of an eye, Fernando had nearly destroyed an entire batch of bananas and caused what could have been a major safety issue in the process. Carlos, while clearly rattled, kept his cool for the cameras, making a half-laughing remark, "Man, you almost turned this place into a smoothie shop." The comment was laced with a mixture of humor and tension, underscoring how close they had come to ruining the entire operation. Another worker standing nearby grumbled, "This is why people need real training before they're trusted with the big equipment," as they began the laborious task of cleaning up the fruit that had been knocked loose from the pallets. Fernando, who was clearly shaken by the experience, climbed off the forklift and immediately began apologizing for his mishap. "I didn't mean to do that. I thought I could handle it." He stammered, but Carlos wasn't about to sugarcoat the situation. Unaware that he was speaking to the CEO of Chiquita, Carlos bluntly told him, "Not everyone's cut out for this. You can't just hop on and go. You almost caused a real accident here." His words were a sobering reminder of just how dangerous working with heavy machinery can be, even for someone who thinks they have it all under control. Fernando, visibly humbled, nodded in agreement. He had learned a valuable lesson in humility that day. When the episode aired, the internet had a field day with the segment. Social media platforms like Reddit and Twitter dubbed the incident the Great Banana Split, making light of Fernando's near miss. One user joked, "Fernando playing real-life Mario Kart and needs a banana peel excuse," while another posted a meme with a spinning Mario Kart captioned, "Today's special, banana wreck a la CEO." Being a CEO does not make you magically skilled in operating a forklift. Despite the lack of a full crash, the disruption in the warehouse was serious. The entire production line had to be halted for 20 to 30 minutes to clean up the mess and assess the damage. That downtime, while it may seem small, has ripple effects throughout the operation. During those critical minutes, no new product was being moved, meaning trucks were delayed and stores wouldn't receive their fresh fruit on time. Imagine the frustration of produce managers waiting for their shipments while bananas sat squashed on the floor in the warehouse. It's easy to see how those minutes can add up. Let's put a price tag on it. If a distribution facility handles around $20,000 worth of produce per hour, then a 30-minute delay translates into a potential loss of $10,000. Factor in the additional $500 worth of ruined bananas, and suddenly, Fernando's near disaster could have cost Chiquita more than $10,500. While this isn't an official cost assessment, it paints a vivid picture of the stakes involved. The episode stands out as one of the most intense and memorable fails on Undercover Boss. It serves as a reminder that even though someone may be the CEO of a company, they aren't necessarily qualified to operate all aspects of the business, especially not on day one. 1. White Castle, the Great Hamburger Bun Disaster, Dave Reif's Buntastrophe. At number 1, we have the most costly fail ever featured on Undercover Boss, and one of the first major disasters in the show's history, the Great Hamburger Bun Disaster at White Castle. This colossal mistake is regarded as the quintessential corporate fail on camera, starring Dave Reif, the owner and board member of White Castle, who accidentally ruined his own company's product by the truckload. If you've ever burnt a batch of cookies, imagine multiplying that by thousands, and you'll get the idea. This fail remains iconic as the ultimate undercover boss blunder. White Castle is known for its slider burgers, and you can't have a slider without its signature soft, squishy bun. Dave Reif, part of the family that founded White Castle, wanted to understand the dough-making process firsthand, so he went undercover at one of White Castle's bun bakeries.
At the home office. We're gonna go undercover.
Dressed in a hairnet and apron, he joined the production line where machines mix, bake, and package thousands of little square buns. His mentor for the day was a bakery supervisor who took pride in crafting perfect buns. She explained the process from timing and temperatures to operating the conveyor ovens and machinery. It's a high-volume operation. Even a slight mistake could ruin a massive batch. Foreshadowing anyone? Dave began with simple tasks like measuring ingredients and loading dough trays. Feeling more confident, he advanced to operating a crucial machine, possibly the dough divider or the oven conveyor. That's when things went terribly wrong. In a moment that became a legendary reality TV fail, Dave mishandled the bakery equipment on a catastrophic scale. Accounts vary, but it seems he either pressed the wrong button or set the wrong timing on the oven. One minute, the buns were baking perfectly on the conveyor belt, and the next, alarms blared. Thousands of hamburger buns came out either burnt or misshapen. Some got stuck in the machinery, causing a cascading mess of dough. The entire production line ground to a halt. Workers scrambled as buns fell onto the floor in heaps. It was a total buntastrophe. The look on the supervisor's face, pure horror. On camera, you can see Dave's expression shift from confident to, oh no, what have I done, in mere seconds.
Like he was getting a little frustrated with me as well.
I got it. All right, got it. Let me get out of the way. What am I doing wrong?
And then he kept asking.
He might have even muttered a few unfit for TV expletives. The emergency stop button was hit, and when the flour dust settled, it became clear just how bad the damage was. Trays and trays of ruined buns, either blackened beyond recognition or completely unusable. Dave had essentially destroyed thousands of hamburger buns with a simple mistake, as one report put it. To put it into perspective, those buns could have made a lot of sliders, but instead, they were headed straight to the dumpster. The bakery team was stunned. You could practically hear the face palms and whispered, "Oh boy, this is bad," from the workers. The supervisor, trying to stay calm, said, "We have to shut it down. All these buns are wasted." Her frustration was palpable. This was wasted product and lost time, both big no-nos in production. One worker muttered, "That's like half the day's bake gone." Dave, still in disguise and likely cringing inside, kept apologizing. "I'm so sorry. I don't know how I messed that up. I'm really sorry." He even helped scoop the ruined buns into trash bins, a humbling moment. The boss literally cleaning up the mess he made. Why it's expensive? Let's break down this blunder in cost, wasted inventory. If Dave ruined 3,000 hamburger buns, a plausible batch size, let's estimate the cost per bun at around 10 cents to produce, though it could be higher. At 3,000 buns, that's $300 in wasted product. Now factor in the production downtime, cleaning up the mess, recalibrating machines, and redoing the batch. The line might have been halted for an hour or two, meaning they weren't producing anything, which could delay orders. If that bakery supplies multiple locations, it could create a bun shortage, delaying lunch rush deliveries. That could cost thousands in lost sales if it caused supply issues. Additionally, there's the risk of equipment damage. Jamming machinery with burnt buns can cause problems. If a technician had to be called in, or if maintenance was needed, that would add more costs. The company likely had to write off the ingredients and reassign labor to make up the batch with overtime pay. Some estimates suggest this was one of the priciest single mistakes in the show's history, and it happened in Season 1, setting a high, or should we say bar for future fails. That wraps up our list of the top 5 most costly mistakes on Undercover Boss. These unforgettable moments not only revealed the challenges faced by employees, but also highlighted the unexpected risks that even the highest-ranking executives can encounter when they step out of their comfort zones. From warehouse disasters to production line blunders, these incidents serve as a reminder that running a business isn't always as easy as it seems. We hope you enjoyed the ride through these epic fails. Be sure to catch our next video where we'll dive into more behind-the-scenes moments and corporate mishaps that you won't want to miss. Until then, remember to keep things running smoothly, stay on top of the details, and of course, try to avoid any bun-related disasters in your own work. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time with more jaw-dropping moments.